You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Good morning, kids, boys, girls. I love children. That's why I'm telling you these stories. Are you ready for another story today? Well, I hope so. Today's story was a rough experience for me as a little boy. I was either 5 or 6 years old. One Saturday morning, about 9 o'clock, the sun was shining bright, and I was out in front of our house where we had a sidewalk. I was sitting on the curb. That's a little thing about this high that kept the neighbor's gravel from coming to our grass, so it's called a curb. I was sitting there with a squirt gun, and I was being a bad dude. You know what I was doing? I was squirting water. I had a little squirt gun, squirting water on ants that were crawling across the sidewalk. I would see an ant, I'd go, ch ch ch. He would swim out of the water, ch ch ch. And I think some of them drowned, but most of them got away, because you can't kill an ant with a squirt gun. But if you take your finger and like that, or step on them, you can smash them. But anyway, while I was doing that, I saw my next door neighbor, Mrs. Lore, who's a very proper and prim lady. She's always dressed to the T. She was always dressed very beautiful, immaculately. And she wore high heel shoes, and she walked like a lady. And of course, she always had a hat on, a big hat of some kind. And she was coming toward me, and I saw her coming, and I liked her. And because she treated us very nice. But the day before, I was playing with my buddy Lowell Tarbett, and at their home, they cussed. Now, cussing means bad words. Words that most people who are polite people don't use. But Lowell's father swore a lot. He cussed a lot. And Lowell picked up some of these words from his dad. It's natural for dad says them. Little children are going to say them. So he picked up a word the day before. I picked up a word from him the day before when I was playing with him. I didn't know what it really meant. And so when she came by, she says, "Hi, Chucky, how are you?" I says, "Fine, you blankety blank." I'm not even going to tell you the word because it's a bad word. I don't want you to even hear it. But I didn't get the word out of my mouth hardly. And my father was just 30 feet away painting the front porch floor with gray paint. We painted it every couple of years, and he was painting it. And the next thing I know, he was grabbed me by the arm and took me in the house, in the front door, through the living room, into the bathroom. And I said, what are you doing? What are you doing? He says, "I'll show you what I'm doing." He says, "You have a dirty mouth." I thought, "I don't think so. You have dirty words coming out of your mouth. I heard them. What you said to Mrs. Laura was terrible. You owe her an apology. But I'm going to do something for you to clean that dirty mouth." And he grabs a bar of soap. It was red soap. It was called Lifebuoy. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to show you some pictures of that soap right now. This little boy, he's got a bar of Lifebuoy soap in his hand. It was a big bar. It was red and had medicine in it. It had carbolic acid, which made it kill germs. This was the most popular soap in the United States from 1923, that's almost 100 years ago, until 1951. So, it had carbolic acid, which made it medicated, and it killed germs. It not only took the dirt off your dirty knees and legs and arms, it took and killed the germs on the outside of your skin. And it was also known to get rid of body odor. But body odor means, people call it BO. You've got BO. That means you've got body odor. It means you smell. You don't smell nice. You stink. So people will sometimes say, I think you need some deodorant, or most of us don't start smelling much till we're about 10, 11 years old. As you start maturing, getting bigger, and we sweat more under the arms, most of the smell comes from under your arms. So anyway, I'll show you another picture here. This is a woman who says, I confess, I'm an ex-user, I'm an ex-person of BO, body odor. Now I use Lifebuoy soap, and I don't have that anymore. Here's another picture. This lady is kissing this man, probably her husband. She says, I like kissing men who have no BO, no body odor, because he uses Lifebuoy soap. And here's another picture of a happy little girl, because she uses Lifebuoy soap, and her mother's very happy for her too. Well, it's the only soap we seem to have in our house. We might have had some other soaps like Lava and Ivory, but this is the one we use when we take a bath. And it was good because it floated on top of the water. You didn't have to look for when you're taking a bath, you could always find it. But I didn't know how bad this soap tastes till my dad's going to give me a lesson now in a new type of mouthwash. He's going to wash my mouth out with soap because I have a dirty mouth. I did have a dirty mouth. And he's going to teach me a lesson about when you say dirty words, cuss words, bad words, swear words, things that aren't nice to hear, you get your mouth washed out. And I'm going to show you what he did. I'll demonstrate right here. He took me by the bathtub, held me in his arms so I couldn't resist him, and he grabbed my jaws like this and made my mouth open. And he took that Lifebuoy soap and he rammed it in my mouth and around my teeth and my tongue and everything. Not just once, he wet it again and washed it again. He said, I'm going to get that mouth real clean so no more dirty words come out of that mouth. You can't believe how bad Lifebuoy soap tastes. With that carbolic acid in there, it had a very bitter taste. And I'll tell you, I was crying like crazy. And my dad says, now, you go in the kitchen, and I don't want you outside for a while. I want you to think about what you did. And guess where I went in the kitchen? I went under the kitchen sink where Mom had a curtain pull. I just pulled the curtain back and crawled under the sink. Didn't have a cupboard with doors, just a curtain. And I sat there going, that taste was just terrible. And my mother says, Chucky, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. And about 15 minutes later, I stopped crying. But I'll tell you, it took a long time to get that taste out of my mouth. And I learned a lesson. I know I had to apologize. I went over and apologized to Mrs. Lohr. Says, I knocked on her door and said, Mrs. Lohr, I'm sorry I called you that bad word, but I didn't know what it meant. My dad told me what it meant. It meant you got a bad mouth and you shouldn't do it anymore. So I learned a bad lesson that day. It was really bad. And I'll tell you something. We have a grandson named Ryan. We used to take care of Ryan. When he was 8 or 9 years old, he said some bad words to Grandma in the kitchen. I remember she picked him up, took him back in the bathroom, got the soap out and washed his mouth out. He came out crying, and you wouldn't believe it. 10 minutes later, he said the same word again. She took him back the second time. I remember her carrying him back, just like a big bag of flour or something, and washed his mouth again. And then she listened carefully the rest of the afternoon. And Ryan almost said that same word the third time. And he caught himself. And he says, I didn't say it. She says, I know, but you almost did. Be careful. So Ryan was careful after that, what he said. And I hope you learn a lesson too. Some of your friends will have bad words coming out of their mouth. Don't repeat them. And if you don't know if they're bad or not, ask your brother or sister or mother before you use them, okay? I didn't know how to use the word. So I learned a good lesson there about how to get your mouth cleaned out if you have a dirty mouth. So I hope you never have a dirty mouth and say bad words, okay? Or unkind words to people. Those are bad too. So today's lesson is something for us to remember. Be careful what you say. There's a song that goes, be careful little eyes what you see, and be careful little lips what you say. And for the Father up above is looking down in love. Oh, be careful little children what you do. So I hope you enjoyed my story today, and I want you to remind your friends to tune in to Papa Charlie's The Storyteller, because I have 4 videos now. This is my 5th one, and I'm going to have one every day, I hope, for the next year, maybe 2 years. As long as the Lord gives me breath, I'm going to tell stories of wisdom and knowledge and information to my grandchildren and all the kids out there that want to learn from Papa Charlie. Okay, give me a like if you like my stories, and tell your friends about me. And I want you to remember this. Listen to your mother and father, and you'll stay out of trouble. And the Lord will bless you too for obeying your parents. Okay? Until next time, bye.